Hello, this is Mr. Heier, and today we're going to talk about acceleration. Right? Acceleration occurs when there is a change in velocity. Okay, so what constitutes a change in velocity? Well, an object might be speeding up or slowing down. Those are the two main ones. Those are the ones we're going to focus on in this class. But how else can velocity change? All right. Remember, the velocity is a vector, and what does a vector have? A vector has both magnitude, which would be the speeding up or slowing down, but it also has direction. The object can change direction. Okay? Acceleration is the rate that the velocity changes. Right? So the quicker the velocity changes, the greater the acceleration. Right? It is a change in velocity per unit time. Right? Here's the equation for acceleration. Delta V over T. If you remember from chemistry class, delta V or delta means change in. So another way we could write this is A equals V final minus V initial over the time. And we'll see that later. We're not going to do any math with it in this part, but you'll kind of see it come up here later. And then my unit for acceleration, well, my unit for velocity is meters per second. My unit for time is seconds, so it would be meters per second per second. But most of the time we combine the seconds and call it meters per second squared. All right, so as this is a vector, direction is important. And that means if we're dealing with it numerically, we can have negative numbers. So let's talk about what negative vectors mean here. All right, if we have negative displacement, we talked about this before, and it means you basically finish behind the starting point. So if you start here, this is my start point, and we move to the right, and we say the right is positive. And then we move to the left, and we finish here. This is my finishing point. Then I finished behind where I started, so my displacement would be negative. Okay, if I have negative velocity, that means I'm moving backwards. So if I say to the right is positive, that means my velocity must be to the left. Okay, and then negative acceleration is a little bit trickier because the reason it's negative is because it's not necessarily just the direction that it's in, it's whether or not it's increasing or decreasing as well. So negative acceleration occurs when you are slowing down while you're moving forward, or the opposite if you're speeding up while you're moving backwards. Either one of those, either one of those is what will cause the acceleration to be negative. All right, so in our next little section, we're going to talk about some equations that we can look at motion. We can be able to do some calculations for motion with acceleration.